Welcome back to Hermitcraft. All right. Well, stopping by the shop here just simply because I wanted to be sure to check things out. Okay. Bunch of that show sold. Nothing going on here. Yeah, I'm not surprised. But the main thing is I want to drop something off here. Some shulker boxes of stone. And I forgot to get a freaking sign. Oh, for crying out loud. That is so aggravating. And I thought I had signs in here, or at least something to make them with. Oy. And of course there isn't like a sign shop handy. That's terrible. But, you know, I don't particularly think I need a sign here for this because, as it turns out, Iskel is on right now. I came by here to drop these off for him because I figured he was probably busy, but I can just let him know. I see, I understand that Iskel is in need of stone, and so that's what I've got here. So, I'm just going to let him know. Heard you need stone. I left a chest with 6 shulkers full. Oh, learn to type. Ay, at my shop for you. There. All right, that'll take care of that. I understand he's got some huge demand or need for it. So, I mean, as I understand it, I think it's something to do with, like, an insane amount of buttons. You know, and since one button is 1 block of stone, he needs royal buttloads of stone. Something like, well, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but what I heard was something on the neighborhood of 50,000 buttons. I have no idea what he's doing with all of that, but I'm perfectly happy to help out since I had metric tons of stone laying around. And now I'm going to get to something else. Alrighty, here we are on the reactor level / experimental housing level. You may recall this one, which was the first experiment housing, and it's right next to the reactor on the side where there is no shielding. Yeah, so that should prove entertaining for whoever ends up living there. Still have to figure out how to decide who's going to live where, but I'm figuring probably some kind of lottery or something like that. And let's see, I need to get a hold of some glass, panes, yeah. And anyway, I've got 4 of these residences so far. And I'm thinking I should probably do 4 more or maybe 5 on this other side of the corridor as opposed to stretching it around relentlessly. And yeah, I ran into another one of those blocks spaces where I can dig out what was in there to begin with, but I can't put anything in there at all, so I'm going to have somebody do something about that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Cub can fix that, I think. Anyway, so structure-wise, just have this other side mirror the first one. And I think that should provide plenty of actual places for people to exist. What do we got here? Oh. Some place that I'm going to have to fill in. Not a problem. Anyway, that's pretty much where that's going to go. I'm still not exactly sure what sort of experimenting needs to be down here. Now, this one I think is pretty self-explanatory. It's run the shielded side of the reactor, so this could be the radiation test control. So this one is on the shielded side, the other one's on the not shielded side, so that's cool. Now, down here for the rest of these two and the 4 or 5 that end up on this wall, yeah, that's another question. Don't know the answer to that yet. Haven't figured it out. And I probably just need to just kind of stone this up to just close that off. At least for right now. And then figure out what I'm going to do with it all later. I haven't been very active lately, I know. I keep saying I'm getting back to it, and then there's always something else coming up, and, you know, between onsets of migraines, and I'm having some really fun times with a broken arm lately. And what's funny about that is I broke the arm in a car accident in March of 1999. And the fun part about that is it's still broken. And it's always going to be broken. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much what's going on there. And at some point real soon, I'm going to have to get done and spend some time mining so that I have some resources to work with. But I think what I'm going to try to do is get myself busy, spending at least an hour every day mining and or producing whatever resources I'm going to be needing and so on. Try to get back into doing things on a regular or semi-regular kind of basis, because I am painfully aware of how little I have been doing lately, and it's kind of driving me nuts, but I'm working on fixing that. Let's see, I got some stone brick in here, so how about I go ahead and fix up the floor. Anyway, what I really need to do is to come up with about, I'd say probably a good 6 experiments of some flavor or another to subject the inhabitants of this level of the vault to. Because, well, that's what Vault Tech is all about. And we wouldn't want people to be disappointed with what I know they're going to expect out of Vault Tech. So I need to figure that out. And if y'all have, well, I know y'all have suggestions, so lay them on me. You know, what do you think we ought to put folks through that live in the experimental level? We got one lucky soul that is going to be exposed to the unshielded radiation from the vault's reactor. But that's just one. We need some other things. Perhaps even things that might have something to do with oh, I don't know, causing life-changing levels of insanity, or who knows, you know? Physical mutations, actual mutants, that could be fun. Creating mutants, yeah. I mean, it would be really kind of interesting. Say, for example, if one of our hapless vault residents were to, in the end, come out like, say, Wolverine or something, you know? That would be interesting. Or we could have a medical experimentation wing and perhaps manufacture a Wolverine, you know? Take some poor sot and set them up with a accelerated healing factor and and the really fun part would be grafting adamantium onto their entire skeleton, which I'm sure wouldn't exactly be the #1 item on the hit parade, but then again, having adamantium claws would probably definitely be #1 on the hit parade. I mean, I wouldn't mind having something like that, although the process of having them installed wouldn't necessarily be acres of fun. Anyway, yeah, I know I'm kind of mixing things really badly here. Oh, take this stuff back down because I need to be putting the lighting in here. Let's see. Yeah. Like that. 3 blocks back. 4 blocks high because we need to put the ceiling material and the lighting fixtures in. Like so. Yeah. Fix the rest of the wall later. Yeah, so finally getting the residential portion of the experiment level done. Still working on coming up with ideas for exactly what form this experimentation should take. And in other news, other semi-related news, some folks have suggested that I should do something like have villagers as residents in the vault, and my thought there is no, because this vault is built for the hermits to use in the event of nuclear devastation, which, given there is a civil war going on, it's entirely conceivable that this situation could develop into something that perhaps maybe the vault might be needed. I don't know. I could be completely off base there, but that's the whole thing with vault tech. You know, you're planning for an uncertain future. You don't know what's going to happen. You just know what might possibly, maybe could happen. And since there is a civil war, you know, it's conceivable, at least, that this civil war could develop into something that nuclear fallout shelter, such as the Vault 6, could definitely be needed. Who knows? In any event, I'm going to try to get a little bit more busy, a little bit more frequently here. In the meantime, due to personal issues, this is going to be a really short episode. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.